Ricky Flores here with Sheen Procs from the Trinity Force Network. I'm here with IWillDominate from Team Liquid, coming off of a 3-2 victory. The curse is broken, sir. How do you feel?
It feels good, man. Screw the curse.
It's pretty awesome. So in those games, were there any plays that made you say wow or why, like on either side?
I think we had like a decent amount of like wow plays. Or just like, I guess it was both, but for us, we had like a lot of like, nice play. Like I know like Phoenix's solo kill mid on Zhao was pretty nasty. I mean, he charmed him out of his distortion and like killed him down the lane and was able to kite around the edge of turret aggro so that he didn't die. I thought that was like a pretty nice play. So that was like a wow moment for me for sure.
He had a really impressive Ahri there, definitely. So you guys had great control of Baron. You guys had 4 to TiP's 2 Barons. 2 of those 4 were actually amazing steals done by you. When those steals come about, obviously TiP starts Baron. The communication with your team, is there a lot of communication going on, or as you as the jungler, do you kind of zone out and just focus on simply Baron, simply TiP, what they're all doing, and just focusing on that smite? What goes through your head?
Well, you don't want to tunnel on Baron too much because you want to be able to, like, more importantly than getting the Baron is the team fight after Baron. Like, if you, like, steal it and then you get aced for it, then you're still going to, like, lose the situation. So for me personally, my teammates will provide information when they see, like, how low it is because, like, I'll be normally focused on, like, my pathing, how I'm going to get there, and just being able, like, to, like, use gap close over walls or maybe, like, flash any disengage spells that they throw at me. So I'll be focused on that, and then they'll be telling me the health, and then when it gets, like, 2K, I just like kind of go into the zone where I'm like, all right, I'm gonna like hit it, and like that's something that I think that I do differently than most players. I always tell myself I'm gonna hit it, even if I miss it. And I've always done that. And like, yeah, I mean, I probably missed hundreds of Barons with this mindset, but it helps me personally to just be like, okay, I'm gonna hit it, and then like when I get it, I'm just like satisfied, or it feels like right. Whereas like when I have the mindset of like I hope I don't miss, I tend to miss a lot more. It's like, even if I'm getting a Baron like stolen from me, if somebody's like contesting it and I'm in the mindset of oh, I hope I don't miss, like it would suck if like he gets it, I don't want to get Baron stolen, I always end up smiting worse than when I tell myself I'm just gonna get it like every time.
The confidence almost helps you.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. So TiP seems to favor this double smite. We've seen it all over the place. We see it happen. It's very obvious the benefits to it. You get the Cinder Hulk. There's obvious downfalls to it. You don't get Flash, so on and so forth. You guys haven't really brought it out much. Do you guys not enjoy it? Have you guys tried it and not found great success from it? Or is it just cheese and you guys are lactose intolerant, don't want a bit of it?
Well, I am lactose intolerant, but that's not why we don't run double smite. Like right now, I don't think we've been too comfortable with it. I mean, it's something that we're getting more comfortable with. But I know at the beginning, like, Quas would sometimes like not know what camps to smite or when to smite. Like it's weird to put like a top laner in that jungle mindset where it's like, okay, I want to smite Raptors here, I want to smite like Grom for the buff and like stuff like that. So we weren't necessarily using that right at first, but then the more we played against it, it feels like we've been able to deal with it all the time. Like it never felt like people were beating us because they had smite TP. So for us, it was just kind of like something that, okay, a lot of teams do it, but until it's proven to us that that's like an optimal strategy, I think we're just going to continue playing the way we play.
I think that's a good idea. I mean, at least one of those steals was up against a double smite consume comp, and you even were able to steal it. Well done on that. Going along with objectives and objective control, it seemed that TiP had dragons down, especially in the first game. They had all 5. The second game, they had the first ones as well. Third one and the fourth one as well on that one. It wasn't until about the 5th game that you guys finally said, hey, Dragon is something we need. And maybe it was just they beat you to it, but how much importance did Dragon gain as the games went on?
I don't think it gained that much more importance. Like in the games we won, games like 2 and 4, it felt like we were trading stuff for Dragon, so I was like fine with that. It was like, oh, we got a mid turret one game. The other game we were able to like get pressure somewhere, or like get like a kill or maybe like a buff or something. So it didn't feel like we were giving them for free in those instances. And then games 1 and games 3, we were just getting beat, so they were able to just get Dragon control. We weren't able to answer much. And then game 5, I think I got really far ahead of Rush. Like I went and I stole his Gromp, I got the crab, and I just felt like I had like a lot of pressure like on him at that point. Like, and I also felt like since I was like playing well during the series, I might have had like a little bit of a mental advantage on him. So I just kind of like wanted to like, I was pretty greedy that game. Like I went for the solo Dragon. Then I walked into his jungle alone with people missing and just like got like 3 wards in his jungle, stole his red, stuff like that. Like I just felt like
going back with the confidence, just feeling super confident.
Yeah, we were just feeling like we were feeling good at that point, and I was like, all right, if we're gonna like win this game, we don't have like a great team fighting combo. They have the Gnar Sejuani, so we're gonna have to get advantages other places, and one of those places for me specifically was counter jungling. Like Sejuani is not something that you're afraid is gonna kill you in like a 1v1 fight. Like you can normally snowball a Sejuani and walk out or flash out. Like you'll normally live in that situation. Whereas if you're playing against a Lee Sin or something, I'm probably not going to walk into Rush's jungle and just like have him murder me. So it just depends on what champions that like they're playing against and like where your advantages are. And in that game, they had better team fighting, but we had better laning, and we had more jungle pressure early in terms of just like me being able to just walk in his jungle and just like screw with him.
Speaking of jungle champions, what was the priority on Gragas? It seems like Gragas was either picked or banned every single game this time. Were you guys trying to keep it out of Rush's hands? Were you guys trying to get it into your hands? Or was it more just keep it off the table entirely?
Well, in retrospect, Game 3, we should have first picked Gragas. We had, like, I guess, a wrong priority on Gragas and Hecarim. We thought the Hecarim was more important than Gragas, but then after, like, playing a game out or playing a couple games out, it was like, you know, we should just take the Gragas and deny it from Rush, because I think that's probably his best tank jungler. I think he plays Gragas a lot better than Nunu and Sejuani, because Gragas is more of a gank champion, and that's Rush's style. It's like pressure, 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 gank, 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 try to kill as many people as possible. So Game 4, it was like, okay, we've got first pick. We can first pick Gragas. And then when it was purple side for us, we're like, we're not going to let them first pick it. They proved Game 1 that they wanted to first pick it. So we just gave it away, or we just gave up on the idea of getting Gragas, and it was just like, let's put him on something that he's not comfortable on. Like, we get Gragas, like, I'll play any tank jungler versus Rush besides for, like, a tank jungler into Gragas, was our mindset.
Nice. How much significance was on mid lane and getting mid lane going? We obviously have the swaps up top, and then we got the top laners down low. Is there a lot there, or do you kind of just leave the mid laners, as you were saying, like the Ahri and the LeBlanc just kind of doing their thing, or are you focusing there to make sure that your team is ahead mid?
Well, like, I'm not able to really gank mid lane with most of the champions I was playing. I mean, Gragas is like a fine champion. I think I got one off in the Sejuani game, maybe like level 5 or something. But besides for that, I'm not playing champions that are going to come in and like stun a mid laner and kill him. So for me, it was mainly just control the vision around mid to like keep it in a 1v1. Because I trust Phoenix to be able to outplay Xiao 1v1. But like Rush's ganks are really strong. Like he's a super smart player. Like, I've talked to him a lot. He's one of my friends, and like he's got such a good jungle instinct when he can just like sense when people are killable, where not a lot of people have that. So like the way you prevent that is just warning up, so that when he like has that killer instinct, you're able to kind of like negate it.
Just give your team the best resources possible to fight him. Makes sense. Lulu wasn't really picked until the very last game. It's a comp that you guys are kind of comfortable with. You guys play Lulu time to time. Was that a plan? Did you guys plan on saving Lulu for a time that you really needed her, something that you could fall back on, or did that just kind of fall into your laps?
No, it was just the way the picks and bans went. Like, they went Gnar, and there's not a lot of things you can play against Gnar, because like if you play like melees that don't, like for example, let's say you play a Shyvana or like something with no mobility, or like not no mobility but no gap closers, like they just get abused by the range of Gnar early. So we wanted to put him, like, instead of picking the Hecarim there, we wanted to put him on something that has range too, that can like kind of withstand the lane pressure.
Nice. So as normal players watch you play, whether it be here or on your stream, we obviously see you do great things, and many pros do awesome things, and so we want to build those items those ways. How do you feel about that, about normal players building exactly what the pros do? Should they do that because normal players don't know and the pros do know, or should they not because normal players don't know and the pros do?
I think it depends on role. Like, for example, like in the jungle, it's pretty bad to build the way that I do in the jungle, because like in solo queue obviously, because like I play like a very like vision control supportive style, but like in solo queue, for example, you buy a bunch of wards and like you'll watch the jungler just walk straight through the wards and kill your laner, and it's like, so why am I wasting money on these wards, because they're absolutely useless in solo queue. So like you should be building like damage and stuff in solo queue. Like you probably shouldn't be playing like Cinder Hulk champions, besides for Gragas, because Gragas has early pressure. You want to be playing like damage champions. So I think for other roles like mid lane it's good, and like top lane and AD carry it's good, but like support and jungle are just so much different in competitive play than solo queue. And I've actually gotten better at competitive play over time and worse at solo queue over time because I'm just like so trained to like, you know, if I'm sitting on 200 gold to buy like a green ward and a pink ward where I should be buying like more pots just so I can like jungle more efficiently. So I personally think it's not the best for my role, but for other roles it's like pretty good.
Right. So in the meta that we're in now, we're in a very tanky meta, very tank-heavy meta. Do you find, obviously there's such thing as fill, like your team needs a support, so, oh, I'm going to support in solo queue and such. Do you find that it's almost the jungler's role to fill sometimes, like, oh, we don't have tanks up top, so let's be a tanky jungler, or we don't really have the damage, so let's get Rek'Sai. Like, do you see any truth to that, or?
Personally, I don't think that it really works like that because like in solo queue, for example, you're going to have the draft, and it depends on what position in the draft. Like the way you conceptually want to play out a draft is you want to play like more of the like multifaceted champions. Like you'll pick those in the beginning that can like fill a lot of things, maybe flexible picks that you can rotate between lanes, stuff like that. And then towards the end of the draft is where you like round out your team comp, and you've already seen part of their team comp, so you can pick champions that are good into the champions that they have, like theoretically. So if they have an AoE team comp, you can try to avoid that. You can pick Heavy Kite or Poke or something like that. If they have, like, let's say, a super kite comp and they don't have much engage, then you can just run a poke comp. If they have a lot of poke, then you just run like an engage comp. You can kind of just like counter their comp, but like the beginning picks will just be things that can like do everything. Like for example, junglers right now are really versatile, so you'll almost always see junglers first picked. And also like there's things that exist like counter lane matchups, but there's no real junglers that counter other junglers. Like, yeah, they'll be stronger at a stage, but it's a lot easier to bypass that as a jungler than it is for a laner. You can't just choose not to lane against somebody like if you're playing mid. But as a jungler, you can choose to farm or just ward up and play super defensively. Whereas like a lane will just kind of fight you and just like impress their advantage. So I think that as far as like drafting goes, it's better to have like your later picks fill regardless of role. Like if you need more engage or something, even if it's an AD carry, just pick like Ashe, Varus, like or Sivir, Twitch, like things that have the ability to start a team fight. And if you're like a jungler in those later roles, you kind of see the enemy team comp. If they don't have much engage and you can kite and you have like Poker style champions, you can pick Nunu or something like that with lots of disengage. But for the most part, in competitive games, you kind of want to just pick like the OPs first, which like for example Gragas, he is disengage, he is engage, he has the ability to kite, he can play in any team comp, which makes him a really strong pick.
Nice. The OP is the reliable pick, and might as well just go with that. Awesome. Well, thank you for your time, IWillDominate. What is in the future for Team Liquid now? Like, what are you guys prepping with for the next bit here? What do you guys do in the next time coming up?
Well, Piglet and Phoenix are going to go back to Korea just to like see their families and stuff. They haven't seen them in probably like 4 or 5 months now. So they're going to do that. I'm going to just like take a small vacation myself, and then I'm just going to get back to practicing and try to come into next split really strong.
Awesome. Well, we'll see you next split. Thank you very much, sir.